Boyz Aloud, take 7. Yo YouTube, Boyz Aloud back with another video, and I got the mandem and the geldom friends of the show. Yes sir.
Hi guys, I'm Katu Lovedale and I'm a friend of Wilile's. I was invited to this podcast today, so yeah.
Hi guys, I'm Neo, but some people refer to me as Wontle, but I prefer Neo. And I am Wilile and Leseli's cousin.
Hi guys, I'm Kumo, just Kumo, and I was invited here by Leseli, my friend.
Disclaimers, guys, audience, this is not boys versus girls. We're not arguing, we're not bashing each other. It's a conversation, we're trying to understand each other, you know what I'm saying?
Can we engage?
Can we engage better as both genders?
Yeah. And like, don't forget, bruh, before you even like get into the video, don't forget to like, subscribe. So if you see your crush sitting here, like, yeah, just, you know, if you're watching this without your socks, like, if you, just send it to everyone, send it to your mom, you know, your granny, your daddy, your grannies, like tap in. Another meeting, you know, boys are allowed all around the world, but like, you know, now we have girls with us, so just like kick back and relax. Hopefully we learn something at the end of this, right guys?
Definitely. Boys and girls' values in society nowadays. I'm gonna describe a woman based on the women in my life, like my aunts, grandparents, my mom, from what I've seen. You know, I think they should be able to be independent in a way, hold the family together, those they love, be able to teach the youth, well, I can say myself, to grow, to be a better person, you know, learning from their mistakes, and just to be loving. Because why I say loving, I mean, boys, us as gents, I don't know, for some reason, we don't like to say the word love or show it. You know, we just say, nah, you know I love you, but I'm not gonna say it all the time. And then mothers are not shy to tell their children or their husbands or their whatever that they love them. You know, they're always open to that relationship. So that's what I think a woman or a girl should grow up to be. The value should remain the same in society. It's sad that it has changed and become worse, and now there's this clash. But hopefully this episode from Boyz Aloud can fix that, you know, bring a mutual understanding. So yeah, that's from me.
I wanted to talk about how, like, between boys and girls, especially with women, I think understanding men to, like, listening to men to understand and not to find a conclusion or to answer back, to respond is so important, because I do feel like everyone is misunderstood. Boy, girl, we're all misunderstood, and I feel like it's just necessary to listen to each other, and that's how we're gonna, you know, vocabulary, figure out what our values and roles are, because we need to respect each other, guys. We need to respect each other, we need to hear each other, and if we're gonna be like, no, but men are supposed to do this and men are supposed to do that, and women, also expectations. I feel like like they can become a lot, and I just feel like the main thing is respect, listen to each other, hear each other, because a lot of times women don't want to do that when it comes, because a lot in society favors women and men are not heard. So I feel like that's just what I wanted to say on that.
I feel like that's basically because, like, when you say like men aren't heard, right? I feel like it's because women for the longest time have always felt like we've been suppressed, right? We haven't had like our word. We haven't been able, you know what I mean? So I feel like that's why right now we've reached a level where we're more outspoken and the gents are more like quiet, you know what I mean? Because we've just broken out of like the suppression.
But you know, women nurture and men protect, and I feel like we complement each other.
True.
So our roles are just to complement, like, women and men are never going to be equal. We're never going to be seen as equal. Biologically, we're not equal. So I think we're trying so hard to be, no, we want to be like this, we want to be like this. But the truth is, men are better at protecting. Women are better at nurturing. Like, you know what I mean? So I just feel like we can start there and then understand your role as a woman and understand your role as a man and what your values are and what his values are. And I feel like it will work. I think it's self type of thing.
Type of thing.
Yeah.
Double standards. Like I hear you guys like saying, okay, a guy's value and a woman's value, but I mean we're having this topic because like that's the problem at the end of the day. Like it doesn't make sense in hindsight. So like when it comes to things like double standards, which is like for me like the foundation of all these problems, you know, expectations, misunderstandings between both genders, like how things like a man is supposed to be like a protector and stuff like that. But like, you know, men then feel like then they have a certain amount of control just because they are protecting you. So now they can control you. So like, you know, it's small things like that that lead to like the bigger picture of why we're even having this whole meeting and like discussion. So like double standards, like what you guys know, like you know how guys can't compliment girls that are younger because it's like, why would you do that, dog? She's young, boy. Like that's a case. You know they say that, and then or like, but like girls can like, oh, he's so cute, but like it's cool. But like it's like cool, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like it creates an image in which it's like it doesn't really make sense when you look at it. It's like not fair for both parties. What I'm trying to say, yeah.
Well, also this thing with how men shouldn't have feelings, like it's. Like women can be emotional, but with men, like they can't.
It's so wild.
It's wild, bro. I don't understand.
That makes sense. But okay, relating to that, you know, sometimes when a woman has feelings and a man has feelings, they could all be the same thing, but to a certain extent, as much as the man has to be like the protector, you would want him to control his feelings more. Because at the end of the day, as much as you differentiating the two between, okay, the woman is the nurturer and the man is the protector. Yes, men can cry, but like it's something that you wouldn't want to see. Personally, even you as a woman, you wouldn't want to see, because how would you see that guy being a protector if he's going to cry the same way women do? Because they're both not the same.
And I agree with that. That's why, well, from what I've seen, I've noticed that women are more attracted to men who seem like they don't cry, who are just tough. And that's why they just neglect the guys that show their emotions and cry a lot. You always see those guys that say, the term nice guys always finish last. The guys that always show their feelings and do their best. They always like leave them aside. But those tough guys, the toxic guys, the guys who are tough and you know, they don't look like they cry. They handle the emotions well. They are focused and the spotlight shines on them. That's why I noticed, I agree with you, especially on the double standards, you know, when you mentioned how it's not fair. Certain things I've noticed that when, like Kati said, a girl is the nurturer and the guy is to protect them. In society now we see, especially with single mothers and single fathers, how they struggle or try to do both parts. And now it's kind of difficult because they have to be a nurturer to their children and a protector at the same time. And when women are naturally just good nurturers.
That's what I'm saying, like, with a woman, I feel like this is a human experience. We're all human, and then once we identify each other as just humans not men, women, like you understand that, okay, there's no recipe to this thing as well, especially with like, the dynamic of your home. There's ways to do it differently, different ways to raise your own kid. The man could be better at nurturing. I don't know. I'm not saying he can't. I just think women are way better at it than men are. And men are just better at protecting. You know what I mean? So I guess that's what I was trying to say.
Okay, that makes sense. But like, let's go back to, like, as much as we say human beings, you know, first instincts. Let's say you want to take your child to a crèche, right, or daycare. You want to see men there, right? Because it's that thing that like women are much better. So your comfort as being a human being yourself, you prefer a woman to be there, you know. And the same thing, maybe when things go wrong, you want the man to be there, knowing that the man will fight for his life to protect the rest, you know. So at the end of the day, it also goes down to trust in like gender, saying that, okay, like how guys don't want to leave their kids with men at a daycare. There's a reason for that. Is that trust that they don't have a good see. Women are better at that, and men are better at protecting as well.
But there have been some men who shine better at protecting or dealing with kids.
Okay, like I think, but isn't it like just the image that like humans have created for themselves?
Expectations.
Like I feel like, you see, then it comes, because like men have put themselves in the position to be called a protector. Like women didn't choose and say like, a man must be a protector. Men did that to themselves. That's why we have to live up to these expectations of being a protector. Because if we dated back to like history, only men were supposed to go to war, only men were supposed to do these things. So then you build an image of like a man is just supposed to be like this, he's supposed to go through the hardship, etc., etc. And then it comes to now where we get soft men, and then it's like, okay, this guy is a problem because he's not like this. But then it's like or feminine, masculine, feminine, it's like a problem now. And they call them, these guys like, but you gay because like you weak, like, but you gay because you don't get girls. But it's like, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like men have created this problem for themselves because like now they can't live up, because like now a man's like, why do I always have to protect? Now I just want to be with myself. Like,
and then they blame women. It's
exactly.
Like some of them can blame women.
Exactly, then they blame women.
In my opinion, I think men nowadays, you're not appreciated as much. We don't see it in society. For example, Father's Day is just, for some families, it's just another day we forget. We don't really do much. And another thing, from my personal experience, if I could take you back, like with my family, there was a time we were going through a tough period, right? And my aunt was like, your dad's going through a tough time, just show me you appreciate him. And then I remember the next day I went to school. On the way, I was so nervous. I was like, how am I going to tell my dad I appreciate him? I was stressing, right? And then I got out of the car and I'm like, I love you, bro. And I just closed the door and I ran out. So I just sat down and realized, I went to school and I realized that, me just telling him how I love and appreciate it meant so much to him. So I think if all men realize that, it doesn't have to be once a year or on their birthdays or when they do something good. But, when they wake up in the morning or they do something, there's other genders, I appreciate you, or they told you, say, we love you and you care for you. Just to know that it's okay to be in a mindset that's sad and depressed, You shouldn't do it in private. It's okay to open up and cry. And nowadays, I don't see that anymore. So that's why I just use my testimony in a way, just to show how that showed me that, it's okay to, compliment and tell your fathers or male figures that you love and appreciate them.
I think as girls, I feel like we should also work towards like creating a safe space for dudes to just be themselves. Because I feel like when we put all these labels, trash or this and that, like just all these negative things, or a guy must do this, I feel like it makes it harder to create that safe space for them. Exactly, the expectations are so high. Yeah, I genuinely feel like it's very important for us to create like safe spaces for like men in general and boys in general. Like when we're sitting as like a group and like there's boys there, I feel like it's very important for us to just be able to like make them know that we don't expect that much from you guys, what I mean? Yeah. And like, like we can speak about our feelings, speak about our home situations, speak about, so we can get deep down into all of these things where you don't feel like you can't do that because you're a man.
Because even when I saw you guys have the show, I first saw the link on WhatsApp and I was like, I thought it was like these YouTubers doing pranks and stuff like that, until I saw it and I was like, no, you guys are really doing something. And it's so important to raise awareness around these type of conversations. Like it's so bad, like men are broken. Because like with all the relationships I've been through, I always say to myself, no, I want someone who doesn't have depression or this, but there's always a problem. Like men are really affected by society, and I feel like women just shy away from it. And I didn't realize that I had an effect on some of my relationships and how they weren't working, because they never found me comforting. They never felt like I was open enough to see their side, because the minute he would say something about, I don't know, like something normal like marriage, I'd be like, no, but I don't want to cook, and I don't want to, and he's not even saying, dude, I'm saying you must cook and you must do this and this. He's just like, I feel like women should know their roles. And a lot of what I'm saying now is because I sit and speak to men and really understand, like I listen to understand and not to respond. So yeah.
And I think with people, I'm not gonna put any words out there, I'm just gonna put my own opinion. For example, with Ricky Rick, rest in peace by the way. If he, in my opinion, if everyone knew, or he was comfortable enough to be, as you said, like have a safe space, to talk out and be like, this is my mental state right now. I feel like this and I don't know how to deal with it instead of just keeping it to himself. And another reason why I think maybe he kept it to himself, I'm not sure because he didn't tell me this. I'm assuming because of the status he had, people look at him like, nah, that's Ricky Rick. He's always good. He's that guy. And he wasn't able to just at one moment to be like, guys, I'm actually not okay. I'm dealing with this, because everyone thought he was okay and happy with his family. And then one morning we wake up and we hear the news. So that's why it's crucial for other men, just to be comfortable with not being happy all the time and just showing the emotions, not dealing with them inside and keep bottling up the pain for so long that when you can't handle it anymore, the best answer is suicide, which is not,
But why, can I ask a question? Why do you guys feel like you need to harbor everything you're feeling?
Me personally, I think it's expectations like that we set, nah. Because like nowadays, bro, okay, like, girls, okay, I don't know, okay, I'm not gonna like generalize it, but like most females now, like toxic gents.
100%, yeah.
And it's like they toxic, and like when you're like, okay, explain the type of guy that you like. No, he mustn't give me pet names. No, he must be nonchalant. No, he mustn't be reassuring me all the time because that gets boring. I lose feelings. Like girls be having all these things, man.
He mustn't care.
Exactly, and like now I'm not being who I actually am because I'm trying to fit in your box. Right? Yeah. And then like that creates all these other things. Why? And then when I'm with my friends as a guy, then like I'm like trying to like you just got off a call with your girl and you're all like, then when you get to your friends like, nah, bro, I'm a smash. Like, it's all these things, bro. It's all these weird things, bro. And it's like, I guess men have also done it to themselves, like I said before. I mean, I feel like we're facing this problem as gents because we kind of put ourselves like, bro, like, I'm all that, so like, but like now we can't take it anymore. And like women are humans too, like, because you said, before we're agenda, before we're this and that, we're humans first, you understand? So like we can't like blame them, I guess, but like, okay, like now, like women, like now they have like all these things, bro, that they want, dog, and like, bro, I can't fit like, bro, like chill. Exactly. Yeah. And like at least all these other implications for the reason we're even having this topic in the first place. Because, I mean, like with all these other, like, if I'm not gonna be myself, like, with the person I'm supposed to be most intimate with, and I'm trying to tick her boxes, it's like, it's never gonna be perfect.
I feel like that's what the problem is with gents, is that like, it goes down to value. We don't know how to value ourselves, or while we think that we know how to value ourselves, but we value ourselves in the wrong way. And it's by, like you said, ticking the boxes. Whose boxes? Her boxes. Alright, bro, I got my own box, dog. Exactly. You see, so
you must tick mine too.
You must go according to your own box, saying, like, nah, this is how I value myself. If there's gonna be a girl who's gonna want this and this, I can't give that, bro. And you need to be happy to leave. And the issue is that we have guys working so hard for that, bro. And then it goes down to issues like being emotional, rejection, and all of that, because that's what they value. Like, listen, I know, like, we're all humans, but at the end of the day, there's so many humans out there. And there is that one who's gonna match you. So, but have your own box. Don't try to please other people or let people create a perception about you. You give them the perception you have about yourself, and then that's how we can value.
How I judge my expectations, if I were to like potentially have a partner, would be they match my boxes. For example, I don't smoke, no drink, so that should be her boxes as well. But at the same time, I know this generation, we love to truth and drink all the time, groove, that's what we do, and it's rare to find someone who doesn't match those characteristics.
Would you compromise?
Yeah, I was about to say that we have to compromise now, but at the same time, I've learned at this day and age that I'm gonna I'd rather be single and lonely and live in a house alone, but as long as I put my happiness first. If I find a specific person that I like later on, then I have to learn to compromise a little bit, but not to the point where I don't look forward to being in the same environment as them.
And you're not yourself anymore.
I'm not myself anymore, exactly. So that's why learning to put yourself first as a guy or girl, and meeting your own specific expectations and not theirs. But what's the problem when the girls' expectations don't meet with the gents' expectations? What problems arise? We get abuse, sexual, physical abuse, toxicness. We get used to this toxic environment. Now it's normal to see a guy hit a girl, or when a girl hits a guy, it's like,
That's another double standard as well, because it's like with GBV, men, it never happens. Like it's like unknown, but with women, it's like the only thing that's like out there. But what about men that are getting
And like women have taken advantage of like the whole thing, because like now like they just be lying low key. Some of them.
No, like it's crazy.
Yeah,
Even
like
with
yeah.
the rape
Some of them are
thing.
lying.
Exactly.
That one is hectic. Oh.
Or like have you guys heard like when like some guys have been through this, like they'll go to the club, whatever, and then they meet a girl, whatever, and like things happen, right? And then like the following day she'll be like, pay me. But like she didn't tell
it
you.
is these
And then like
things.
when you don't pay, she says, okay, I'll tell them that you raped me. But it's like, you know what I'm saying? So it's bruh.
But that's
like,
value also. Like you as a guy, like yo, already down.
Hate yourself.
But also her,
Yeah.
like, but
Already like you meet her at the club and already down like that. What did you expect? Like she had her own mission and you were caught in that, bro.
Facts.
Because you couldn't value yourself and be like, nah, let me get to know this person. Let me get to understand their motive before I be in this situation. Because that's the thing, they value that. Guys will be like, yeah, nah, I'm smashing, we smashing, we smashing. And then they think the more they smash, the more value they have. And then they are put into these situations, bro.
Yeah.
You see, it's the thing
But
of...
that's another double
also you-
standard.
It is, like, why is it
when
that
a
when a
guy,
man- yeah,
when a
actually,
guy
yeah,
has
yeah.
so many bodies, it's like, damn, this
It's like a
guy's
good
like down
thing,
me.
but like
But
when
then
a
if a
girl-
girl has so many
also it's
bodies,
like
it's
a
like,
bad thing.
oh,
I might-
bro,
yeah,
I
that
can't be
makes
seen
sense.
with that girl.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
She's
the
in
double
streets.
standards that favor women are the ones that are regarding sex all the time. Because when a girl sleeps with many guys, no one wants her.
Yeah.
When a girl dresses a certain way, she's just not marriage material or she's not girlfriend material. Like, who wants to mess with that? She's just someone you smash once and then that's it. So it just always favors men.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, there is that thing. You see what you say right now
Yeah.
about like this tap and pass. There are that. Ladies have that with guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you see,
it's a
Uchi.
thing with women
Because-
as well, and it should
I
be
guess
okay.
like
I think
it's
it should
fair,
be
bro.
okay.
Because
Yeah,
like,
it's fair.
like they've went through that. Like
Because
why
at the end
can't
of
you
the
also
day-
do the same thing?
They don't care. They know, now I'm going for this guy. This guy, I don't care about this guy. So this is my mission. After a year, I want that 2K. And they'll get the
They'll
2K.
get it,
But then if you're a decent guy, they wouldn't want to do that. The same thing, you would value another woman because she's decent. You understand? If you know you can get a woman now at the club, how are you going to marry her, dog? How are you going to marry her?
See, it depends.
But then why, me personally,
Because then it's like okay, no, it's fine. Cool.
my target market is not at the club. You know what I'm saying?
But what if you do find?
But
Yeah, that's what
That's the
I'm
thing.
trying to
What if
say.
you
Nah,
find
that's
the
like-
club?
It's the
girls
image
that
that
go
you
to the
have,
club.
bro. Like
But that's the
exactly.
values and the, as you said, the tick box that you have.
Because like, what's wrong with going to a club?
Because I mean,
There's
you can
not-
go to the
you see?
club.
But,
There's nothing going wrong
for
with
me,
the club.
Okay, you can go to a
But we all
club,
know
like,
the club is there for guys.
me personally, my tick boxes, like my expectations, it's not bad going to the club. You can go to the club once in a blue moon, but that's not my environment. You know, every time my boys are like, let's go to, for example, F1 next year, I'm like, you guys can go, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? You guys can do your own thing. I personally would, I don't think, maybe it's God's plan, I don't think I'll find my future partner in an environment where it involves being drunk and being with multiple men. You know, and another thing that's crazy, I haven't noticed.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, and I may be sounding like a L weird person, but that's just my vibe. That's what I was raised. My parents taught me that, you know. So that's what I'm gonna continue with because I noticed it's working well for me, you know.
Yeah.
Keep going with
But like,
Yeah.
don't you think then you're restricting yourself from like finding, like,
Because she could
Because
be at the
maybe
club.
you
Because
could
like,
be at
As
the
much
club.
as you say,
Setting
let's say
restrictions.
for example,
Could be at
you
the
decide to
club,
go
your
to a club
girl.
one time
Yeah,
for the first time, or maybe like once in a while,
yeah,
and then you cannot create the perception that every girl who's at the club is like that. You understand? The same way you cannot expect a girl to say that every guy who's at the club is like that. Everyone is different. You see? So that's why, just like maybe like if you can like open up and be like, there could be that girl who went there for the first time, and yo, it was so rough. Maybe she kissed like 10 guys. It was so overwhelming. I mean, that's reality.
Another thing that I like, I'm gonna continue with you. Really said that we like to lie. Let's be honest, man. You're gonna go to the club.
We.
No, not we.
well, I
like
say
us
like
as
they,
humans.
like
Like
yeah,
human beings, like
yeah, like they
humans,
be lying, yeah.
We be lying as humans. We be
Yeah.
lying. Because you're gonna, if I approach a girl, for example, right, and she's saying, nah, I'm here for the first time, you know, I'm maybe here with my friends. Come on, bro. Okay, she could be telling the truth. She could be
It's up
telling
to
the
you.
truth.
Yeah, you sound
But you can say-
paranoid. Yo.
I'm not paranoid. It's just that,
Nah.
okay,
When we
if
go
I
to the
start,
club, what are we doing, guys? Because if I'm going to have a good time. I'm not looking.
that's what I'm saying. If I'm going there,
And
for a
everyone
good
has their
time,
own motives. Just
Exactly.
think of it like this, a gent. They want the ratio, bro. Like you cannot be like
Jen wants a ratio.
yeah, Jen wants a ratio in every situation
that they
because
put in, yeah.
that's why we. Oh, okay. I don't want to generalize now, but that could probably be the reason why we want to go there. You know, you want some hands. There's a lot of hands.
No, and you know, like,
and
okay.
yeah, and
okay.
you'll find that like ladies are just there to have a good time, and that's for real. They there to have a good time, you know.
Yeah.
But like everyone has different motives.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're to have a good time and go to someone's house and then go back.
Like
to
a gent won't go to a club knowing
depending, not all
it's
of them.
4 guys for every 1 girl. Nah, I don't know. Maybe
it's
they
like
are.
that. It's like that. Maybe nah, trust me.
Maybe.
There's no guy like that, bro.
There could be guys like that. I mean, guys who are married or something,
make sure
or
that
like
there's
who are in a
girls pulling
relationship.
up.
They don't mind such things, bro.
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah,
go
well,
like-
that's facts though. Why is it that? Yeah,
It's another expectation.
It's another
like,
expectation
like,
amongst
and it like kind of builds the image in a guy's head. Like a girl is like
a necessity.
like she's like you can just use her to fulfill whatever.
Oh,
needs.
okay, my fault.
And then it's that because like, bro, why can't we plan a party and just be gents and like, bro, why is they like, nah, bro, if there's no house, bro, I'm not pulling up, bro.
Facts.
Like,
Like
But
at the
you
end
know
of
what
the
I'm
day,
saying?
gents have their own motives. If you like carp to something, probably that's not the thing. If someone wants a maid or something, or if a maid wants a gent, that's their motive, bro.
but then you see the thing of like they don't want the lady to cuff them because
Just a
like
chow.
when you're meeting them at the party on the club.
So
Exactly.
what
So
would
you
they
see-
want them to do?
Exactly.
So
To chow.
if they chow,
And
okay,
then what
fair.
image does that? Or
I
what image
understand.
does that thing?
Fair, we
We're
have
just
that
using
thing.
them to chow and then we
And then we
die.
die.
Then we
exactly.
vibe.
And,
Yeah,
then,
not-
and then like now women do that now. Then like now guys wanna cry and complain. But bro,
We've been
doing that.
I
to
mean,
women.
ladies have been
Yeah.
complaining also, you know.
But
Because I'm
then,
just
like,
saying,
yeah,
there's
yeah,
no
okay.
value in that regardless. If you are a guy who wants to chow right then, personally thinking like, what would be the value out of that? Just smash and go. Same thing with the maid. Smash, get the money and go. There's
Why
no
is it
value.
get the money with
Exactly. Yeah, why is it like that, bro? Like women do that.
The
though.
money.
But if you think about like reality, like we cannot create something that we haven't heard of. I cannot say what.
But I don't think it's every woman.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
what
not
I mean. It's not
every
all of
woman.
them. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like most dudes, money all the
get
time.
the money and go.
No, because you know how girls think, ne? It's like, how are you going to smash and then the next thing I'm getting nothing out of it, dog? Like, think
Yeah.
about it.
You had a
Yeah.
motive. You went to the club knowing that you're gonna do that.
But what if my motive was
Was to
Bella
get
to
the
get the cash?
Okay, if that's your motive.
Because some girls genuinely like, there's no
That's
way.
the motive we're
Like, there's
talking
no way.
about.
That's
Like,
their profession. You know what I'm saying? They
Even
really
the
get their
thing
bread
of,
and
like-
butter.
That's like them, like okay, but like, bro, like to say it like in simpler terms, it's like they're selling themselves, bro.
Exactly.
And then after
In
that,
hindsight.
in hindsight, they're selling themselves, and then after that, women get complain when guys cheat them the way they do, but like you do that. So then
Yeah,
how do
because at the end of
you
the
see,
day,
so you see that this thing, bro. There's no like, bro, like you moving 2 steps forward, 1 step back, or 1 step forward, 2 steps back, because it's like, bro, like when are we gonna understand each other if this is the case? Because then a guy wants this, woman wants this, they have their own motives, right? But then they wanna be respected at the same time, but you're doing like trash.
Yeah, no, that exactly. You want
You
trash
see.
and you want a treasure.
You are
You do trash, then
exactly.
you get a trash.
Exactly. It's like, bro, it's going on a downward spiral, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know? So there's a lot of expectations. And like, I guess we've kind of covered, like, when these
problems.
expectations are not met, what happens?
Yeah.
Rape, abuse,
Rape, abuse,
all these other things.
all these things.
You know, so, bro, it's like never ending, in my opinion. But hopefully you can come to like a conclusion, you know, someday. But
Just
like,
the value you have as a person.
Yeah, it's just the value you have. Imagine just the guy, like just the value, bro.
you just have to rate yourself.
Exactly.
Honestly, just rate yourself.
I don't think it's getting better because even with older women, like older, even like not our age groups, because I was watching this show and it's about marriages. Some women, because you're talking about money,
Yeah.
and sleeping with, so some women, she was justifying her his husband is his boyfriend at that time doesn't want to marry him, so she's seeing it as though, because I feel like she wants, okay, I don't know how to put this.
like she thinks she has options.
Yeah,
That's why
type
he's taking
thing.
time to make the
To
decision.
marry.
Like, okay. Okay.
But is she marrying because she wants money or?
Not that she wants money, she's justifying the fact that the man sleeps with him all the time and things like that.
Oh, I hear
Yeah.
that. I
like
hear that.
advantage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
advantage.
he's taking advantage type of thing.
Yeah.
I actually think like after 4 years. Okay, no. Let me not
Some
be
people
that
like
person.
7 years without getting married.
Let me not be that person. I think, when a man's ready, he should be
Yeah,
ready.
I
I
feel
think
like,
another thing is that we do pressure men into marriage sometimes when they're not ready for it. So
Well, like, why can't women go on their knee? Like, why?
Yeah. That's
like,
not a bad
why can't
question,
she
you know?
go down, bro?
That's what I
Like,
get.
I think it's
Like,
just tradition.
Huh?
It's not
Like
true.
for a man to be the one to propose.
if
But
you
I
wanna,
mean, you
if you
can
wanna,
do it.
like, if you wanna get married, then you ask me.
Yeah.
But you know what that gives?
That's another thing that
What
society
does that
has.
give?
What does that give?
That gives like there was this one story that I was telling like my friends the other time. There was this couple, they were fighting outside a mall, right? And this girl was like crying. She was like, "But you never give me flowers." And then this guy was like, "You never get me flowers too." And I was like, "What's going on in society, guys? Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, fine, it's okay to give gents flowers. Okay, sharp for you. If you
I
want
just think
flowers,
we need to
go
learn
get your flowers.
Yeah.
to
But-
reciprocate.
And we can,
If your man wants to buy you a car and you
So
want
you
to do the
guys
same thing,
on that thing
then
of
do-
50-50, no?
I do believe it. I want to
50-50.
Yes, I want to spoil the person I'm with. I'm not going to just expect that from him, but I'm not giving back. I want to pay the bill too.
I just don't
On the
understand when
first date.
when one gender comes to a relationship without money. How do you go to a relationship
Yeah.
without money?
Nah, I mean, like,
bro.
at the end of the
That
day,
is
like, you can't
crazy.
just say, like,
It's like, bro, you want to date someone but you don't have money. Like, in a relationship, you need money. You need money.
But
What, so like, you say like one gender
It
just
depends who you
has
deal with.
money and the other one doesn't have money.
No, okay. Marriage, you can make it work, but like dating at a young
Some
age.
guys don't mind it.
Since you broke, you don't deserve
Yeah,
love.
though, sometimes
Like,
you
if you're broke and you want love, get your money up. Not in a bad way.
Yeah.
Because when it's time to go out,
Yeah.
when it's time to go out and to go on a date, bro, how are you gonna pay? I'm not saying pay for the whole bill, but how are you gonna pay for yourself?
Yeah, I understand that. That makes sense.
How are you gonna spoil the other your
Yeah. Relationships do require a lot of money.
Requires
They
money.
It's
do,
the
but I
going
think-
out,
I feel like
it's
it doesn't
everything.
require money like that. It's just that it goes down to expectations.
I
Because there's
Yeah,
nothing wrong
yeah.
with the date of buying Maguenya, 5 rand.
Yeah.
Ooh,
But like some girls are like, how
but
can
then
you
people
do
will be
this?
like,
Yeah,
ah,
how
But you know
feel
why
like
it is though? You know why I
What?
think it is? Because you could have no money and your girl lives in the East. How are you gonna travel? That's another thing.
Long
You see.
distance.
You like her, you love her. You shouldn't
It
feel
needs
ashamed.
money.
You shouldn't feel
that's the
ashamed.
thing.
No,
Money.
like
But yeah, it needs
no.
money.
Money.
But like that's where you guys need to meet halfway. She needs to understand that maybe she's much more fortunate than you. She mustn't have this thing of like a
That's
guy
why you
has
must
to
date
be.
someone that's on your standard.
Yeah.
Don't date.
Okay.
Don't be broke and date
But then,
someone that's-
okay, but what about I met the love of my life, bruh, and she's a millionaire, dog. But like, I'm not there yet.
Yeah, it's not true.
Oh, that's
And
why.
then
Then
what?
that's not the right
Then
time.
what? Now, because
She'll take care of you.
then like that contradicts what Remy was saying. Because like that means as a guy, that means you're thinking I must have more money than her.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Subconsciously, that's what you're saying.
And exactly,
And like
means
that's wrong.
In that
You know what
situation,
I'm
the
saying?
guy should be okay with being at a lower level and potentially being the husband. Wait, not
of
husband.
a
Yeah, of the house.
wife that's
Yeah.
doing better.
Yeah, being,
Are you
being
okay
at
with that?
home.
So are you
making
not
yourself
okay with
laugh.
I think I'll be okay. I'm okay with that, bro.
Bro,
If she's making like what's wrong
Like
with
she's
that?
making-
Then maybe like when it goes back to roles, like 50-50. If she's making, maybe she pays the bills, whatnot. Then you nurture the kids.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
see,
yeah,
at
yeah.
the end
But
of the
then
day,
does that
we
mean
go
that
down to one
she's
thing.
running the house of the pants or you are?
What
Because
does that mean?
Meaning, if she's doing all the
I don't
heavy
think anyone
lifting,
has to
like
wear the
financially,
pants.
right? You don't think about because
Nah,
then how is it when they're in an argument? How are they gonna deal with it?
No, I mean,
No,
can take the
she doesn't have to
decision
bring her status into the argument.
She doesn't
Like,
have to
But it
bring the
happens,
status.
but it happens, but like she doesn't have to, because then, bruh,
You know my
Like, women can
situation.
behave.
exactly, you know my situation, so like,
Yeah.
why are you making it seem like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
But I feel like to a certain degree, what she's saying does make sense because, like, for some people, dating a certain standard works for them because you get with a lot of people, like, in the public eye, it's hard to date someone who isn't in the public eye now because they could be out for your money
Yeah, that's true.
or your money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like sometimes
Okay, let's look at it
date
like this now.
at your level.
Yeah.
Let's put reality. Now, while the reality
Reality.
based on me,
Okay.
you have a 21-year-old boy who's like a young man
Yeah.
and a girl. And then, like a girl, 21-year-old girl.
okay.
I thought
Yeah,
that was sick.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have that, right? They're all the same age. Nah. So you're telling me if there was a guy who's like 27, who has the money, you know, whose life is in order, and then sees this girl who's 21 who's studying and can see that now this girl's focused. I feel like I can build a relationship. You all know that you still live in your mom's house and he has an apartment. So you're telling me would see.
You wanna compete with them, type shit.
Would you wanna compete with him? Nah, like certain things.
But it's
just
up to the heart.
complement.
I think at the end of the day, if it's like that, then it's up to the girl, bro. Like, whatever, go, like, pick.
Yeah, so there's nothing wrong with. We shouldn't I don't think we'll ever find someone who's on our level.
Nah, there's no such thing.
Like
Team
personally, standards. We're gonna be looking.
Status
that's
you
why-
can.
Yeah, standards. Yeah, you
No,
can.
but
that's why I'm
Standards
saying
you
that
can.
is
That's why it's okay.
But like,
Let's say, for example, he's earning 60, she's earning 20, 15. That's
Yeah.
okay, because she's contributing somehow.
yeah.
But we were talking about 1 million and no job. Right? We're talking about that. How the guys are
Or like a millionaire, but like you like
earning in the 20s, 15s.
As a
That's-
woman, I don't think.
You don't think you should do that?
I don't.
Why?
Why?
The thing is,
Nah.
it gets dangerous for women because look at, I don't know if you guys know Groot man,
Yeah, I know.
but
Hey,
this
I don't
man has a baby mama, right? And she has nothing to her name. This guy is making money. And now he's cheating on her. And she can't leave because she knows the main provider is him. So it becomes dangerous when it's like that. You do need to have something. You do need to have a source of income. You do need to have independence because, bruh, you can't leave that situation. It's hard. It's like, where are you going to go? So I feel like, get your money out.
Could you
bro.
do it the other way
Exactly,
around though?
get your
Like
money out.
you have more, like way more money than him.
If he, it could happen. I don't know if I've never seen it happen. I'm not saying it.
Would you rate him? Is what I'm saying.
Would I rate him?
Yeah. Would you still see him as like
Love
a
is
man?
love.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
look at money. I don't look at status. If I love you, I love you.
Yeah,
You know?
that's what I'm saying, bro. It's okay if she's driving a Mercedes and you're driving a Toyota, but if she's driving a Mercedes and you're using a bicycle, then that makes sense. Then you don't have to be.
Yeah.
Unless it's loud, bro.
That's crazy,
Bicycle
but
is a
Bicycle.
But like what about a relationship whereby there's a 21-year-old girl who's driving a Mercedes, she's fortunate enough,
Yeah.
and then there's a guy who's not fortunate enough
Yeah.
to drive a car and has a bicycle. You're telling me they can't date?
They can.
they can.
Like, I agree with her, they can. Love is love. But then,
After all,
that's
they
what I'm
take you
saying.
so
that
far,
when
so-
they argue, because in relationships,
Oh,
there's gonna be times that they
relationships.
fight and all of that. You can't bring up financial matters because you're in love with them. You knew before.
from the
You knew from the get-go
you're
that,
getting
hey,
yourself into
this
this.
guy or this girl, she's struggling, but I like her because of her qualities, not because of what she has.
Yeah, it's
And then
not
both of you guys can grow
Together,
and
like,
stand
yeah.
But it's a bit
Yeah,
shaky
yeah.
because with most girls, it's like, no, they want a man with status. They want a man with money. They want a man that can do for them. So, like, it's unfortunate because some broke guys really get the short end of the stick. Like, they don't
Yeah,
find a lot of
yeah,
girls that want to mess with them because of their money situation. So.
And have y'all ever seen a male gold digger? Or am I tweaking? It's rare. It's rare. It's common to find.
rare, but like, yeah.
No, you
That's
find
why-
them. It's
that's
just
why
it's
find
rare.
them.
It's more common. Right now we're using a female ending the bag and a guy not. But in most situations, it's the guy who's doing financially better.
Okay, so like dating at a young age, like what has it done to us? Like, because I'm assuming all of us sitting here like have been in relationships.
What is the young age
What is
to
the
you? What is a young age to you?
To start or to like
To
just-
start.
to like really like date?
High school.
Yeah, high school is
High
like when like a
school is
real
like-
relationship.
Yeah, high school.
So primary school has this draw for 5 days. Is that right?
Yeah. But like the thing is, you see, people create like certain image of what a real relationship is. Because like some people will say, right, if me and that person never kissed, it was never a relationship.
But I feel like dating at a young age really helps with character development, like at the most. Like, I don't think it's advised to start because then you get into sexual
Yeah.
things.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think
Has the
that's
good
advised
and
for
the
this
bad
gen.
part to it.
Yeah.
There is, what's the good though?
Like you said, like
Character development, yeah,
Character
for sure.
getting to know people.
Yeah,
able to-
knowing what you like,
Yeah, knowing
what you
what you
don't
like.
like. But I think the sexual part is
It's the one.
But
It's the one.
I guess like also being in a relationship nowadays, like, but we're not in a relationship if we don't do that. That's
exactly.
the
But
thing, bro.
if you're
If I don't have
Some,
cheese,
like-
if
like,
you're in
not my
grade
fault.
8, if you're in grade 8, it's wrong because
Also, when it starts like affecting, because like dating in high school, affecting your school performance,
it could.
Yeah,
that's when it starts getting bad.
And that's
Like,
what the
letting
parents
it taking a
Sometimes
toll
our
on-
parents are right, guys. Sometimes our parents are right. on
Yeah,
it.
parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's parents like to stress on the sexual part and it affecting your mindset and your grades.
Because it really does.
Yeah.
Like heartbreak is not.
And how it affects the boys.
Yeah, heartbreak.
Yeah, that's how it affects the
It's
gents.
not.
But it's, I was about to say something, but for the boys, it's like the goals is definitely wrong because you get from your friends, you get peer pressure at this age. Now I need to like, as you said, clap cheeks. I need to do this at a young age, and now the guys that don't do that now they're like, yo, bro, I'm not man enough. I don't have W riz. I'm just stuck at this moment where all of my friends they get girls after girls after girls. That's why dating at a young age it's bad because now you have this mindset of what you expect us to do, and now you forming this up in your shell. Well, that's what I see. I could be wrong.
Yeah, true.
Because a lot of gents, they don't have that opportunity and they don't have the riz or they don't know how to carry themselves. Or they're still shy. Because when you come into high school from primary school, you're still a shy kid. Well, I was shy. I didn't know how to act. And now when you come across gents who are like have this riz and who are bulky and have girls, now you get this mindset, oh, I'm supposed to do this and act this way, even though you weren't raised like that. Or you're raised to handle a girl like this, but now you see gents handling a girl like this, so you're gonna learn to handle a girl like that.
And you'll find the way those gents handle those girls probably is what they like.
Yeah.
And then it leads back to you trying to like tick their boxes.
Exactly, because you're so young that you don't know your own boxes.
Yeah.
So you gain from other gents that, oh, the boxes you should do, or from your friends that have done, certain levels. Because since I'm the youngest out of all of my friends, so I learned that, maybe I should be doing this. But then later on, I learned that, our boxes are not the same, So that's the nice thing about being self-aware at a young age. You realize that not everyone is the same. So just because one of your friends is doing this, you don't have to treat all girls or all boys like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, true.
So that's why it can be really bad, as they mentioned, it can be really bad. You don't have to do it just because everyone is in a relationship. Being in a relationship isn't a flex, You don't have to have a girlfriend or a boyfriend. It's okay to be not lonely, alone, focusing on your grind,
Yeah,
Social media likes to make it that, you're not in a relationship.
But not even social media, this generation.
It's just,
generation.
it's everywhere.
There's someone wrong.
But I don't think like it's entirely negative. Like
Yeah.
I said, I do feel like it does help you build onto
exactly.
certain things.
I just genuinely feel like dating at a young age is unnecessary, and that's coming from a person that hasn't dated. Like I genuinely haven't dated as yet.
Why do you think it's unnecessary?
I feel like it's unnecessary because, like you were saying, like character development. My character is very developed, and I haven't been to you in one
Yeah, I
relationship.
agree.
Okay,
I agree.
so it's like-
I agree.
I
Yeah,
get
but
that,
then- okay.
but I feel like your experience when you experience your first relationship, a lot of what I know is what you don't know because I've experienced multiple relationships. So
exactly.
you're gonna struggle with certain things that you've never
Which
been
is
exposed to,
also
which is why I
true.
feel
Yeah, that's why.
Which is also true.
And I might not because then I have not been alone. You understand?
And that's why you should find someone who's at the same level as you, even though they may have a bit of experience, but they're okay with being with someone who doesn't have much experience. Like she said, there's some people like myself haven't been in much relationships or none at all, but we develop fine. We still know how to treat women and guys.
And, and to a certain extent with that is, I know like relationship is a good thing, but sometimes I just feel like you not being too much in a relationship, you're saving yourself from unnecessary problems.
Yeah.
like
Because there's
so
unnecessary
real.
problems in relationships, and you're like,
At a
you have
young
to learn
age,
at a young age.
yeah.
And then even when guys, bro, like maybe guys who have had heartbreak, some of them now hate girls, bro.
Yeah.
Because they've been through so
what's with
much.
this thing?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, cause
It's like we're all rushing. You know what I mean? It's like we're all rushing. This generation, like we're all rushing. It's like, why do I need to date?
Yeah.
Like, what experience must I get from dating? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why is it a must, a need? Like, I'm chill, Joe. Like, I'm good. You know what I mean? So it's like, for me, it's like we can generally just calm down a bit. We don't need to be in relationships like that at a young age. We can just focus on the things that we need to focus on, and we'll get there when we get there.
And this generation is confusing being alone with loneliness. Like you can be alone and still thrive. You don't have to be dependent on someone to find yourself.
So true.
Being lonely is
I
not
think the highlight. Sorry, did I?
Okay. No,
I'm
no,
so
no.
rude.
No, you
Nice,
just
bro.
okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But the highlight of our lives is like our love lives. And like, get your bag up. Like,
Exactly,
girl,
get your
like,
bag up.
like you, like school.
And you're so pretty for all that stress. Like, don't be putting yourself underneath all that
Even
pressure.
men, they too handsome for that stress,
Like,
man.
come on.
Girls can be stressful as well. And expect so much. And it's a lot. So,
Like there's so many gents that I know now that are just like, you know what, let me put dating aside, girls aside, and all those expectations, because we're always talking as girls, like, you know, we get the ick with everything. So it's like there's so many guys that are just like, you know what, no, I'm so done with that, and they're like, I'm just gonna focus on the bag, focus on my future, and they're really cooking, they're really getting W's, they're really like things are going good for them because they focused on them. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So then why do we find ourselves, certain individuals, changing themselves just to get with a specific partner? Seeing that, because our youth find themselves with having their friends with a partner, so like, oh, I don't have a partner, let me change myself to get with a partner, if that makes sense.
I feel like that goes back to value.
The boxes.
And expectations.
And expectation.
Because now
you have to tick the boxes.
I understand like compromising, but then make sure you put yourself first. If that compromise is something you cannot handle, don't compromise.
I feel like, you know, in relationships, you're like trying to adapt to each other, because love and relationships is about like compromising. You do have to, like, you have to compromise. Obviously, yes, don't compromise your own happiness for a relationship that isn't working for you. But I do feel like it's the same thing with parents. Like, they love each other, but they have to just, like, if you're dating someone with depression, you knew that you were getting into that, you do have to acknowledge that it's there. Don't be like, nah, I'm not gonna fix his problem. I'm not. You got into it knowing that this person is like this, so you have to take initiative of that and be comforting. You know, have that conversation, because I notice with a lot of women, what they like to do is they say, I'm not gonna fix him. I found him, like, I'm not gonna fix him. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna. And
like, I'm not here
again,
for that.
it's why men don't want to open up. They don't want to speak on those things because we do that. So I noticed I used to be like that, and I had to realize that I'm not as comforting as I thought I was. So I've just. Yeah, that's just what I've learned.
And a lot of people like playing Superman or Superwoman. Like as you said, they know that a person is in a terrible mindset, but they think that, oh, when I come into their lives, I can fix their problem. But then you really don't, you make it worse. So that's why, when, my opinion, if you know someone or someone you like is a terrible mindset, they're depressed, just let them be. I mean, you can comfort them as a friend, but let them be, because energy can transfer. That negative, depressed energy, you can get it as well, you know. That's why let their parents, let God deal with their life, and, you know, let them get better. And once they done with the depressive mindset, you can come back and be like, hey, you know, get back into the picture. But I do agree with you. So now, what happens when gents make the mistake, women and boys, make the mistake, and now it leads to teenage pregnancy at a young age?
Yo, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is why we can't be boyfriend, girlfriend, grade 8, grade 9. Like, I just think, and it happens a lot with girls that think that they're so matured and they want to get into relationship with men much older than they are, and their experience. Like what with what Willie was saying, like, we're not gonna get into a relationship and we're not gonna
exactly.
So you guys, I will be clear.
You're gullible.
No, like she means
anything.
she means like you can't, like, nowadays a guy, most guys, like, you didn't date a girl if you didn't clap cheeks.
Yeah, because they want to clap cheeks.
Because they want to clap cheeks, and like that certifies the whole thing. Then she's worthy being called someone, or being called an ex. Understand? Only if when you do those certain things or you reach those. That's what.
That's why I feel like dating at a young age is unnecessary, because it's like, it also leads to this like teenage pregnancy thing. Because it's like, if you feel like you're a mature girl, then I feel like you should have it in your head to say that it's unnecessary, because you know that most gents aren't at that like maturity level, and like they say, they're gonna have that mindset of, no, I have to like clap cheeks before, or like, you know what I mean. So it would be better to just not date. Like, it stops the teenage pregnancy thing also. Then once you feel like, once you're fully developed, you know what I mean. Once you're like out of school and all of that, then you can start dating, and then you can start being exposed to like the sexual world.
I'm not going against what you're saying, but I feel like what can we do? Like, it's not gonna stop
But
girls
like,
from
like-
Because teenage
dating. They're
pregnancy
gonna
also is not always because of
Relationship.
dating,
Yeah.
relationships.
Yeah.
There's also some with what you also say. It's
Yeah.
also
I just
illicit,
realized,
Yeah.
like abuse as well. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that relates to which is a
I
big
just feel
problem.
like putting advice out there is better than just saying don't do it, because
Yeah.
they're gonna do it.
They're going to.
They're gonna. That's what I'm
they're
saying. Like, even with how I was unaware that I wasn't comforting, that's character development for
Yeah,
me.
true.
I
Yeah,
learned that
true.
about myself.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like, as much as it does have a negative side to dating young, you learn about yourself and you learn about the other person. But I know it has its negatives. I definitely know that. And with sex, yeah, I think that's the main thing for me, in my opinion. Like, the sexual intercourse part is a lot, because a lot of girls that have experienced sexual intercourse young either have like terrible experiences or are uneducated, and this is what happens with teenage pregnancy, and then it goes right down to abortion. Like, and some men are now fathers, and they didn't, I don't want to say they didn't ask for it, but like, they didn't have a choice because she decided to keep it.
It's her body, nah? And I know that mindset of like, nah, her body. With what you are saying, you should also have a choice, but it's her body, dog. 9
Yeah.
months.
It is.
Yeah.
But then it's your child.
Nah, it's your child, nah? But everything is up to her, dog.
Not
It's
everything.
not to say
bro,
everything's
not
up to her,
everything.
nah?
Yeah.
But majority of the choices she makes is up to her. You
That's
at the end of the
true.
day, when I wake up feeling nah, and you might not be in a relationship with her, and then you go get another hand and be in a she has to go through it also.
You know where I
So-
feel like the problem comes in? When you're not ready to be a father and like you're forced to provide. There's child support, and I can take you to court for that. So
Yeah.
you see where the problem comes in.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I do agree with what you're saying. I as a woman, it's my body. I think if I don't want to bear this child, I think I get to hold most of that
Yeah.
decision. But he gets to have a say as well. He
Yeah, he gets to have a
should
say.
be
He can put in
heard.
his opinion,
Yeah.
but at
Yes,
the end of the
yes,
day,
But
it's
do you
like
think-
a teenage, like that's a bit crazy.
Because
Do you
I
think
mean-
if he wants to keep it,
As teenagers,
he should take the child?
yeah.
Do you agree
Yeah,
with
yeah,
that?
yeah. I'll take the
that's
child. If I want to
fair.
keep it, I'll take the child.
That's
It's
fair, but
fine.
like understand that her.
But yeah, it's the
deciding-
way we're saying, yeah, but it's easier said than done, you know.
Yeah, it's the same. But
Yeah.
like I'm just saying, like her deciding that she doesn't want to keep the baby or the child. That's something you need to learn from, bro. Because at the end of the day, teenage pregnancy, I wouldn't say it's something that we celebrate for, you know. Because unless you're not well off, if you're struggling, no one wants teenage pregnancy, and that's the consequences that you're gonna have to suffer, and you're gonna be accountable for that. The
Yeah.
fact that even if you wanna be a father, she made the choice that she doesn't wanna keep the baby. You're gonna have to learn from that and know what to do next time, and then be like, okay, you know what? Let me be stable, have a woman whereby before we do any of these acts, we have that agreement and be like, okay, if you were to be pregnant, what would happen? At this stage, if you are pregnant, this is what we decide on. Before you do all these activities, now people just jump
Yeah.
without anything. So you're gonna have to suffer the consequences of that, even if you want it. If she doesn't want it, personally speaking, yes, you have a say, but it's her body, bro. If she doesn't want it, you'll suffer the consequences of not doing the right thing and doing something better next time.
Yeah.
I agree with that 100%.
And now, why do
Like,
men?
okay.
Yeah, sir.
No, go.
I agree with it. Why do men fail to, like, misunderstand? They don't understand the female body. We misunderstand the female body. Why did?
Not really.
In terms
no, like-
of, it
like-
can be
like-
in general, not in a relationship.
It's,
or
it's become like a sex symbol.
using their body
Like-
for
like-
as a product just to get my needs and then we leave them anymore. It's become that nature now because we don't see. That's what we spoke about it earlier. We don't see.
For who they are,
Yeah, we don't see them for who they are. We don't see their qualities.
Yeah, they objectify us.
Objective. But I feel like it also comes back to the point, how do they approach us at the end of the day? If there's a girl who's literally approaching you in a way that she's selling herself as a product,
But
and
self-control.
you get that guy, yes, they self-control, but then you get that guy who sees that. You must also understand that from her side, she also did something wrong.
But
Because it's all about
self-control.
value. I know it's all about self-control. But like, if she had carried herself from the beginning, probably none of this would have happened.
But then,
Nah,
okay,
because
no,
you
no,
do
but I don't
disagree.
agree.
I
I don't
disagree.
agree because
I
look,
disagree.
because right, that means we're saying guys can do certain things because like they think like
Sure, just
that.
because
Exactly.
You're giving him like
The
a
right.
Basically saying if I'm at the club dressed a certain type of way, it's okay for a man to rape me.
Yes.
If she's
like in hindsight, that's what it's like. Someone who doesn't
I
understand.
know that's not what you're
it sounds
saying,
like.
but it sounds
That's
like
what it-
that.
like, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Because even though it's not pleasing, but a girl can, if they want to, they can wear a short skirt and do whatever.
And do
walking
whatever.
from
You must
there.
control
And we
yourself.
have
You
to
must
have the
control
control
yourself.
not to do
yourself.
anything.
Yeah, true.
But unfortunately, we live in a society where people can say, no, why is she wearing that? And it leads to actions like that. But still, we have, as guys, we have the control, we have the ability to say yes and no.
Oh, no, yeah.
That's why gents, especially gents in general, we just struggle to run away and fight the temptation of lust. And when something bad happens, we always easily blame the girls. When we literally have the yes or no, we can do it.
We can do that, true. You know, it also goes down to, like, let's say if you to have a younger sister or daughter, you understand how men out there are.
Exactly.
So you do by all means to protect and be like, listen, yeah, man.
To guide.
To guide.
Yeah, to guide.
So you have to be there as that thing of, listen, as much as you want to do what you want to do, there are animals out there, and this is what they can do to you. So my role is to let me guide you, so that you don't find yourself in this position, you know, because then you have people saying like, but she was wearing this and all, but still that's wrong.
That's wrong.
But at least have the ability to be like, nah, listen, where you are going, I cannot, me maybe being a father or an older brother, I know guys out there, and guys don't care. There are guys that don't care. They have their own motives.
Yeah.
And you, by all means, trying to protect your younger sister or your daughter from not being in that situation. That's it.
I agree with you.
Now men have created the impression, like, well, no, not created the impression, like women have succumbed to the expectations of men due to how their body should look, and to find women doing BBLs and things like that, right? And like, obviously it's unfortunate because like now females look like they're only good enough when they look like that.
Yeah.
And men have put them in that position to feel like that, you understand? So that's what I'm saying, to go back to what you're saying, like, yeah, yes, I get what you mean, like, it's how a woman approaches herself. But like, no matter how much a woman approaches herself, a guy must have his own mindset as well.
Yeah,
you can't just get blown by the wind, you understand?
And
you
I
have to,
think- I think, like, sometimes women do what they do, and it's not for the male gaze.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm looking good, it's for me. Like, it's not for the male gaze, you know? So I think we need to understand that too.
So, gents, like, how do periods like make you feel? Like, do they make you feel uncomfortable?
Nah.
Like, be for real.
But you guys can be insensitive about it, and you guys don't realize, because even sometimes she'll blot on something and be like, ew, like, oh, what's that? And then, you know, she's embarrassed. Even in relationships. And when it gets to that,
Like, how do you even bring it up on a random Monday morning? Like, oh, dog, like, I'm on my period. Like, why do you say that, like, out of the blue? You know what I mean? Like,
and they can be so comfortable, it's still uncomfortable for me. I don't know, I just think periods are like, for me, it's just hard to bring up or to talk about or to feel comfortable, even in a relationship. And when it gets to the point where you're trying to be intimate, where your person's trying to be intimate with you, it's even more awkward. I don't know.
Especially with periods, like, you don't have to be like insecure like that, because if you have done so many other things, why are you still quiet?
It's gross.
Like, we have done so much, but then
Nah, I don't
Another thing,
know.
I think the price of it shouldn't change, because the last time I went to discount, but it was for
what
Father's Day.
price of what?
The products you use.
Which product? Enlargement
Like
or what?
tampons and all of that.
Yes,
I think it should stay the same
I think they
price.
should be
Because
free.
the last time I went to discount to buy Father's Day products, and then the lady was like, would you like to donate 10 Rand to help with the something? I'm like, yeah, ish. And thing is, if I'm being honest, I had 10 Rand in my pocket, but I was like, you know what I'm saying, 10 Rand.
So I guess it goes to show, like, guys don't really understand.
You don't
that.
Yeah, and then now
Yeah.
after this
Understand.
episode, if I were to go back, like, here's 10 Rand. Even though at that time I knew it was for a good cause, you know, but I was like, you know what I'm saying, money's tough right now, no thank you. And I lied saying I'll come back next week. But now after hearing how girls feel, like I wouldn't want another girl to feel that way, saying, hey, I don't have this resource, I don't have tissue, I don't have anything. And now being in an uncomfortable situation like you mentioned, you know, which I have no control of. Yeah. So now that, as I mentioned, more guys should just be more aware and do anything they can do to help, even if it's donating 10 Rand or a pack to someone. Just anything they can do to make another girl's life easier.
Yeah, society in general needs to get in with this whole thing. I think sanitary pads they should be free.
They should
I do know that there are some organizations doing that, but it needs to be everywhere. But it gets so bad that like period pains can get so bad that you can't even go to school, guys. Like it's horrible, and there are kids out there that they don't understand what's happening to them. They don't know what's going on, and then they start at school. They're disadvantaged. They can't afford those things. They don't know. It's just bad. So.
That is us, Boyz Aloud, coming in with the heat. You know, we got you. Episodes every second Thursday. You can catch us on TikTok, Instagram, and watch out for Policia. You know what I'm saying? But don't think it ended.
If you guys didn't see the Boyz Aloud video over there, right there. And
yes, sir. We got it on the merch.
So.
But don't worry, it didn't end right there. We're coming at you with the part 2. So just make sure you hit the like button, comment down below your thoughts, and hit that post notification button. And we're out.